We start this week by heading back to school on the 24th with Orange County kids and teachers who got more than 1 week beyond the Seminole County people.
True.
That's good. It was a good summer, but now it's time to say goodbye. Have a great school year, everyone.
Well, the Holocaust Memorial Resource and Education Center in Maitland presents the exhibit Ravensbrück, now through September 25th. Remembering Ravensbrück highlights the unique experiences of women in the Holocaust. It tells the story of the Nazi concentration camp where more than 150,000 women were interred. The panel-based exhibition features historic photographs, maps, and artwork created by the prisoners, highlighting the stories of individual women imprisoned at the camp, as well as female guards who willingly implemented the Nazi final solution. Admission is free. You can call 407-628-0555 or visit holocaustedu.org.
Well, we're going from that to the Carnival Sideshow. Step right up. The Art of the Sideshow, presented by UCF Art Gallery, continues through August 29th. Sideshow banners, the large, brightly painted signs that advertise the extraordinary acts of the Carnival Sideshow, are a vivid and colorful example of Americana. Today, the sideshow is largely a thing of the past, but visual representations of it still exist. Phone 407-823-3161 for more info or visit ucf.edu.
You know, an interesting place to check out, and it's a hidden gem, is really the Palaschik Museum and Sculpture Gardens. Have you been there?
I have been there. It's hard to say Palaschik, but...
It really is.
Yes, we've been working on that for some...
Albin Palaschik, yeah.
Yes, yes. And have you ever been yourself?
I did go recently, and I took my crew as well. Would you like to see?
That's a good segue.
This is Man Carving His Own Destiny by Albin Palaschik, and we're here in Winter Park at the Albin Palaschik Museum and Sculpture Garden. Let's go inside and check it out. So I thought it would be great to get a personal tour with the executive director, Debbie Komansky. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, welcome.
Nice
welcome.
to see you.
Nice to have you here today.
So where are we?
Well, this is the home that Albin Palaschik built in 1949. He moved in January 1st, 1950. And this was to be his retirement home and also a working studio.
Yes, this is a nice big space.
Yes, it is. And he bought it here facing north in the lake, and he put in the skylights and the big picture windows, and it was to definitely be a working space for him.
Now, the first thing that my eye is drawn to is this lovely sculpture.
Yes, that's actually called the Victorious Christ. And during Mr. Palaschik's career, he did a great deal of commission work. And in the 1940s in Omaha, Nebraska, St. Cecilia's built a new sanctuary, and he was commissioned to do the crucifix, the Stations of the Cross, the Apostles, and the Mary. Wow. And so this particular casting is the very first one, and it's in plaster. And they do that in order to test the mold and make sure it's ready to pour the
You don't want to mess up with bronze.
That's right, that's right. So in this space we have things that range from when he was a boy, the wood carving of the nativity scene, and we have pieces that he created right up and shortly before he passed away in 1965.
And not only are there sculptures here, there's actual paintings, so he was a painter as well.
Yes, he had come to this country in 1901, and typical of many immigrants, not a penny in his pocket. He had been trained to be a wood carver. He went to the Midwest, and he soon realized he needed formal training. He wanted to be more than a wood carver in an altar factory. And so he saved every penny, and he applied to the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts and was accepted. So he went on to Philadelphia and spent 4 years, graduated at the top of his class, and in the meantime had become a citizen and won the fellowship to the American Academy of Rome.
Wow.
And I'll show you some things out in the gardens a little later that kind of will relate to that as well.
All right, well, why wait? Let's head to the garden right now.
Okay.
So what else do we have going on in this gorgeous garden?
We have 3.5 acres here, and on our property there are literally dozens of sculptures, 99% of them done by Mr. Palaschik.
Wow.
And right here we're coming up on the Eternal Moment. And he cast this one in a cement material. He liked to experiment with all sorts of different materials. And this one had great significance to him because when he was getting ready to graduate from the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts, he had become an American citizen by that point, and he competed for a fellowship to the American Academy of Rome.
Oh, wow.
And in order to win the fellowship, they were given certain material in a very short period of time to create an original piece of work. And Arturo Moment, the original, is in marble.
Oh, wow.
And so
That's something to carve
and he
with.
obviously bet he won, and he spent the next 3 years in Rome studying.
Wow. So, you talk about Roman, and then we have Christianity, and this is something completely different.
Completely different. As we spoke about earlier, he had come to the United States from what was Moravia in 1901, and he grew up in Eastern Europe, and just like the Romans and the Greeks, the Eastern Europeans had their own folklore and their own pagan gods and goddesses pre-Christianity. And he would think of the stories from his childhood, and he decided just for himself to create his version of what he imagined they look like.
Okay.
And so we have quite a number of them mixed through the property, and they're very intriguing and they're fun. He did a lot of things like that just for himself.
This sculpture looks familiar.
Yes, when we were inside, I pointed out the plaster test of Victoria's Christ, and this is actually a bronze casting, and it's installed on a solid cypress they found it in the swamps to cut and create the cross for it. So hopefully it'll last for a very long time.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
What are we walking up on right now?
This piece is Mother and Child, and Mr. Polashek created it. He had had a cement casting of this here in the garden, and unfortunately about 14 years ago, a tree fell on it and almost destroyed it.
Oh, wow.
And so we recently had a wonderful donor come forward, and we were able to piece all the broken parts back together again, and a mold was made, and it's cast in bronze, so it will live forever
Wow.
this time.
And we've got a big construction project going on,
Yes,
don't we?
we do. The construction fence is actually blocking off about a third of our what we call the Kelmison property or East Garden. And we are in the middle of getting ready to move the former Capon Showalter house from the other side of the lake over here. And it's going to be coming over by barge and will be put back together and have a new life as a place that will have our educational programs, more visiting exhibits, and a variety of other workspace in the house. And
That's incredible.
It is a massive project, and it had to be done so quickly.
Yeah.
So it's been challenging and very exciting, to put it mildly.
Moving a house by barge, that's something you don't hear about every day.
In less than 6 months. They're literally going to cut it in half.
Wow.
And then bring it on over, and it should be getting here pretty soon now.
And we're here at this beautiful fountain.
Yes, he's a rather interesting character. This is Wasserman, and this is another one of those Moravian folklore entities. And Wasserman was known to live by the lakes and the streams and rivers. And if young children came to the water alone, he might grab them and take them away. And it was to keep the children from wandering to the river by themselves.
That's good
and
thinking.
You see, he's a colorful and silly-looking character, not really too intimidating. As you see over here, we have an artist working in the grounds, and that's quite often, artists love to come here and do that. And we celebrate art every year with the Winter Park Paint Out. And we have 26 plein air artists, professional artists, come, and for 1 week, they will create approximately 200 paintings of the beauty of our community, from Orlando and Winter Park and up to Maitland. And they create magnificent scenes, and then we put it all up for sale, and it's a fundraiser for our artists as well as the museum.
Wow, that's fantastic. So we've got another sculpture here.
Yes, this one is called Pilgrim at the Eternal Gate.
Knocking on Heaven's Door.
That's exactly what it is. As his interpretation, the original of this is in Cleveland, and this is the copy that we have here in the grounds. It's bronze, and it's Polaschek's interpretation of when we die, we return to our peak, how we were at the peak of our life. And this is an image of a man who has passed, and he's looking back over his shoulder at the life he's leaving behind, and he's reaching up to knock on heaven's door with serenity and belief that that door is going to open and welcome him in.
Wow. Well, I would like to believe that that is the case for all of us.
Yes, I would too. I want to thank you for coming today.
Oh, no, thank you so much for having us and showing us on a tour. So if people want to visit the Polaschek Museum, where do they go for more information?
Well, they could go to our website, which is www.polaschek.org and find out all sorts of information, or to our Facebook page, which is Albert Polaschek Museum and Sculpture Gardens. Please go and please like us.
Yes, this is definitely a place that you need to come and check out, because we only showed you just a little bit of the amazing sculptures that are here. Such a beautiful location. I just want to grab a sketchbook and go out there and just sketch near the water.
Yeah, the grounds are just amazing there. Yeah, very, very peaceful.
Yes,
and
very.
comforting. Now through August 31st, check out the Silver Spurs Rodeo exhibit Taking Stock at the Osceola County Welcome Center and History Museum. With a long history in Osceola County, the Silver Spurs Rodeo represents far more than the event that is embodied by its distinguished name. For proud Floridians residing in Osceola County, it literally represents them, their families, their histories, their livelihoods. The Silver Spurs Rodeo Taking Stock temporary exhibit explores the voices and perspectives of the men and women volunteers who continue to take stock and proudly produce the event and support their community. Call 407-346-8644 for more information, or visit osceolahistory.org.
Now through October 30th, check out Play Ball, Winter Garden's Love of the Game, presented by Winter Garden Heritage Foundation at Winter Garden City Hall. The crack of a bat against a fast-pitched baseball has resounded across Winter Garden since its very beginning as a town. 24 historic photographs describe the town's love of the game. From farm leagues to a baseball school to everything from Little League through college baseball, the sport has captivated residents for over 100 years. Visit OrlandoAtPlay.com for more information.
What is it and how did it get there? That's what you'll be asking at the Art and History Museum's Maitland with their exhibit Cabinet of Curiosities running through August. This exhibit highlights a few of the most unusual artifacts in their permanent collection, from an ancient stone piece of granite inscribed with Egyptian hieroglyphs to a 19th century funeral plaque from Providence, Rhode Island. Call 407-539-2181 for more information, or visit artandhistory.org.
As part of their Thursday Vintage Favorites film program, the Winter Garden Theater will show Imperial Dreams on August 27th. The movie was a big hit at the 2015 Florida Film Festival. Imperial Dreams achieved the rare feat of winning both the Audience Award and the Grand Jury Award for Best Narrative Feature. Inspired by true events, Malik Vital's powerful debut feature tells the unforgettable story of ex-con Bambi from Watts, Los Angeles, and details hardcore gangster life with earnest humanity. After getting a short story published while in prison, upon his release, Bambi decides to trade in his gun for a pencil in order to care for his neglected son, 4-year-old Day. Welcomed home with offers of pills, guns, and drug running, the young father resorts to living in his broken-down car with his son. But hope lies in Bambi's writing, and his musings on the life of a criminal are illuminating. Imperial Dreams isn't a film about hood life so much as the journey to overcome it. The movie starts at 7 p.m., and more information can be found at gardentheater.org. Wow.
That is not the Bambi I remember.
Definitely a different Bambi.
Yes, a harrowing experience though, but
It sounds so interesting. I can't wait to see it.
yeah, me too.
Lots of things going on this week, so that's a good place to wrap it up. If you have any events that you'd like to share with us for next month, send an email to cafe@ocfl.net. Until then, I'm Michelle Wargo.
And I'm David Russell. Remember to tune in next week and see what new and exciting events are going on in your community.